Welcome to episode 163 of Drew's Sports Crew here on this Sunday night. Look, bringing you the news in the Wisconsin sports world, and what a great week, right? This week couldn't really go any better, other than like the Brewers starting and losing their first series of the year, start of the week, but honestly couldn't end any better. Other than came down with a little bit of spring allergies right now, so bear with me here throughout this episode here in episode 163. Great to be back, though. At Drew Sports Crew, Instagram, X, and TikTok rankings posts for your beloved Wisconsin sports teams, and also some rankings and such going on there. Scheduling this week, you're hearing me right now for episode 163. Wednesday at 4:45, Journey to Million NFL Draft Preview. You care about football. I know you do. NFL Draft is here this Thursday night at 7, I believe it starts. So check that out. And we're excited to be bringing you that episode as well. Otherwise, we have, of course, throughout this week, I have, again, those variety of posts. Look forward to bringing you. Look, this week, we're going to be talking again. Bucks thrilling win on Sunday, game 1. We'll talk a little about game 2, 3, and 4, what time you can see those. We have a little Friday curveball, not for baseball, but for basketball. I'll break down kind of what time that is in Indy. It's disgusting is what it is. And then we'll talk through the Brewers, how this week has gone, and then preview a little bit of week 5. We're 7 games, 4 on the road, 3 at home, a giveaway on Saturday, Yankees coming to town. So we'll talk about that also in this episode. Let's start, though, with the Milwaukee Bucks. Game 1 could not have gone any better. Look, the Bucks were 1-point underdogs at home. Yep, you're right. When you lose 6 of 8 games to close out the regular season, including games you were like favored, I believe, in like all of them that you lost. So that's something you don't want to hear, but look, that'll happen. No, the Bucks did what they needed to do. They're a great home team. We know that they're 31-11 this season at home. But what the Bucks really stood out in this game was they played their game, right? Their game is, especially without Giannis, is, hey, we're gonna play great defensive basketball. We're gonna force disruptions. We're gonna force turnovers, force you into contested 3-point shots, and we're gonna outshoot you from 3. It's pretty much what we see when Giannis is out. That's what they try to do at home, and they won by 15. They did just that. They were up like 30 at one point. It was 65-35. There's a point where Dame almost had more points than the whole Pacer team. He had 33 when they had 35 as a team. That's what we saw in this. And we also saw something that the Bucks haven't seen. Tyrese Haliburton post All-Star break, who has really struggled offensively. And that continues. 9 points tonight. 9 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. Not like he played bad, -3 plus-minus. He actually played pretty effective minutes in this one, but like offensively, I mean, it's a spark that they don't have anymore. Benedict Mathurin out for the year. Like, they need more than 18 minutes from TJ McConnell off the bench in order to hang competitively, and he did not play great in this one. Doug McDermott came in a little bit, was shooting around. Things like that is like, okay, you feel good if you're the Milwaukee Bucks. You have the bench advantage, and the Bucks don't have a great bench either. So like, to that point, that's something. Siakam's really taken over, though. I mean, he had 36 in this one. In the second half, he was the offense. They made this game, I would say, a game. Like, they kept it within 20 throughout most, the second half. That was pretty impressive considering what they faced. I thought the Pacers still played. Well, I mean, we know, obviously, Pacers played a lot better in the second half. They outscored Milwaukee 29-14 in the third, but look, the Bucks just got hot the first half. They just rolled with it. Dame was shooting everywhere, pulling it, making it. Beasley had three threes off the bench, 29 minutes. Right, Dame had 6. Pat Bev even made a 3. Pat Bev had some of the most impact minutes you'll see. Like, they won that trade with. I was watching a little bit of the 76er Knick game yesterday, and the fact Campaign got minutes for the Sixers was brutal. Like, the Bucks won that trade. They blew it out of the water. That was such a great trade for them. Pat Bev, although 2 for 5 from the field, whatever, 5 points, plus 17 plus-minus. He had 7 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals. That's all that Pat Bev. He had 7 rebounds. Yes, and this team, we know Brook Lopez does not like getting rebounds anymore. 4 rebounds for him, but like having a guy who can do that off the bench or not off the bench, but like playing those quality minutes. Pat Bev played 37 minutes in this one. That's huge. Chris Middleton then also with a nice. He was the best player for the Bucks when he was on the court per se, as his plus minus plus 25. Played effective minutes, 23 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. Look, I think the real reason the Bucks played well in this one too is Giannis. Right, Giannis was out, but Giannis we've seen have huge turnover games against the Pacers. Like we've seen him have a 7 turnover game against them earlier in the season, I believe. Giannis again being out, but like turnovers for Dame then has been the problem when one of them's been out. So Dame in this case only had 3 turnovers, which you like to see. They only had 10 as a team. Not necessarily great, but you'll win games with that, especially at home when you make 14 threes, you shoot 38% from 3. You'll be fine. The Bucks actually only shot 13 free throws in this one, 13 to 13. Makes sense. They shot way more threes they actually shot less threes than the Pacers, but they made more. But the point is they were getting much more quality shots outside of the paint. There's no need to get some free throws or take it down low. They were getting really high quality shots throughout the game. And other than the second half, they started clamping down a little bit more, but you just got like the energy this Bucks team brings, especially at home. I think that was just a key thing for me was like looking at these big plus minuses, plus 25 for Chris Middleton, plus 23 for Bobby. Bobby usually is the guy who has a lower plus minus due to defensive efficiency and such, but Bobby played well, although having those 6 fouls out there. Look, AJ Green got some minutes, wasn't really feeling it, but the Bucks, I'm glad the Bucks are home. These first 2 games, they get Giannis back hopefully for game 3. Game 3 is April 26th. So for reference, that's this Friday. So I would give him a hold. My prediction is the fact that Giannis was doubtful. Obviously, you're not going to say like, "Oh, Giannis isn't playing." Tell him days in advance. You would still want to hide it to an extent. But I think my prediction is Giannis back for game 3. If you win both of these without Giannis, and then you're up 2-0 and you get Giannis back, that's huge. It really is. But just this was one of the best outcomes you could have gotten for this game for the Bucks, I would say. Right, you score over 100 points, you hold the Pacers to under 100, which is something that's a good recipe to win any NBA game. And the Bucks do just that. Yeah, I think we talk about why you bring in Doc Rivers. You bring him in because it was the defense. It came down to the defense. Although the defense has not been great those last 8 games of the season, we saw a little bit of what we wanted what was the vision of bringing Doc Rivers in tonight. I feel obviously got some luck. Pacers missed some open threes, so on. Bucks did as well, but really, this is a great game, great win for the Milwaukee Bucks. Okay, going through what the schedule looks like this week. I kind of broke it down. I talked about Friday's game. Let's talk about what time and where these games are. So we have 3 games this week: Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. Tuesday at 7:30 is another home game. That's on NBA TV. I know that sucks. I actually get NBA TV here, so I'll be watching. But NBA TV, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you don't have NBA TV, as probably many don't, because why would you need NBA TV to watch your beloved NBA team? I don't know. It's like imagine if they put a playoff game on LB Network. They actually do that sometimes, but imagine if they like had the Brewers, for example, on LB TV or on LB Network rather. Be brutal. But Friday's on ESPN. That's at Indy again. That's 4:30 p.m. That's what I was talking about. 4:30 p.m. on a Friday is tip off. What are we doing? I get you want to put games on Fridays. I get what the NBA is doing, but the first round schedule historically has been garbage. I've been a critic of it. We actually see today's was really nicely spaced. We have a game actually going on right now, New Orleans and OKC. Tipped off a little after 8:30 Central, but which is great timing on a Sunday, I feel. But man, these Friday times, 4:30, really? That's 2:30 West Coast. Imagine a 2:30 West Coast play game on a Friday. Whatever. I just disagree with how they've scheduled that on this one. Then 6 p.m. next Sunday. is when that game is. And then, so that's game, right? That's game 4 is next Sunday. And then Tuesday, the game is to be determined. It's probably going to be at 6 is my guess. And then Thursday is at game 6 if needed. Right now, only game 4 would be needed. So that's what we're looking at. And the Bucks have one more for sure home game this series. Well, I say for sure. If they sweep them, they don't need game 5. If they do need game 5, though, it's next Tuesday, April 30th, is when you'll see that. So that's the plan here for the first round of the playoffs. They will again play the 3 seed, so they'll play the winner of the New York and Philly series. New York's up 1-0 in that one, and Beach should be good to go though. So that still could be a series in my opinion. So not sure who the Bucks will play in that one, but just keep that in mind. Let's go over the Brewers. Right, that's kind of the Bucks talk. Right, they take care of business, win game 1. The Brewers, right? I talked about 4. There's 6 games. I wanted 4-2. We got 4-2. We did just that. I was done in a way I didn't really think it'd be done. We played Padres home for 3 games. The offense kind of ran to its first skid of the year, and I say it was a skid. They put up 3 runs on Monday, 3 on Tuesday. I was at the game on Tuesday, so I got to see Angel Hernandez behind home plate again. My second time in the last year. I was actually at. Fun fact for those who remember, I was at the game last year. Corbin Burns had a no-hitter going through 9 innings. Yes, through 9 innings, but it was tied. Angel Hernandez behind home plate. That was a treat in New York last September. But going through it, otherwise, Wednesday was the game we didn't really expect. We expected Michael King to have a big day against the Brewers. He did. Brewers right-handers strikeouts has been the story so far. Which does make sense. I'll kind of break down the numbers a little bit with like Contreras, Churio, and so on. Like they're more liable to strike out against right-handed pitching. But come on, it was a Blake Perkins week. Blake Perkins would be your player of the week. Just based on how he played. Day in, day out had a play to win game. But yeah, the Brewers, it was the bullpen. The bullpen, they had 5 guys combined to get the win. Bryce Wilson was the guy who started it. Brian Hudson pitched 2 1/3 to end the game. Brian Hudson had 2 big outings this week. He had one today as well. What addition he's been. Is credit where credit's due. Yeah, Blake Perkins though gets the go-ahead single in this one. Not a lot of offense in this one. Brewers had 3 hits the whole game, but it was enough to get the win. That was a quick game too. Like I remember looking because it had things going on throughout the day, and it was like, okay, the game is it already over? And it was. So Thursday, then they got the off day, well deserved. Then they have Friday, right? They have a 3-game series against the Cardinals. They win 2-1 on Friday. That game was the story. If you just check the ump scorecard, 1.79 runs favored St. Louis. St. Louis got a run off an umpire missed call. And that was enough to tie the game, send it into extras. William Contreras stays hot. He was the offensive. I mean, like he was also a player of the week. It'd be co-players of the week maybe because he played so much better or he's played so much better this week and has played so good the whole year. He just has been a force offensively, defensively. Perkins was though 2 for 4 in this one with 2 doubles. Look, I mean, he's been the real deal. Blake Perkins, the guy who they got from the Yankees, they signed him to a major league deal off the minor league team. People were like, "Oh, this is actually a deal, like a deal to add him to the 40-man, have him on the big league roster." And yeah, it was. And he showed up, and he's played really well this season. He played well last year, just has a expanded role this year, and has truly made the most of it. Especially with Garrett Mitchell being out, that's kind of what has propelled him into this role. That leads me to Saturday. They do face Miles Michaelis. They do get a little gift. The Cardinals still don't have starting pitcher depth, although they did make some signings. Churio has a home run. Churio walked twice, had a stolen base. Terang hit a home run and a double. Hoskins hit a home run. The Brewers put up 31 total bases compared to the Cardinals' 8 in this one. The Bluebirds came out Saturday. The Bluebirds also then came out Sunday here for today's win. 2-0 win. Sonny Gray has the best start for a Cardinals pitcher this season. pitches phenomenal. He had himself a day. 6 1/3, 12 strikeouts. Only gave 5 hits, 2 earned runs off a single there in the 6th. But figure that like Sonny Gray looked phenomenal today. He pitched very well. They only allowed 6 hits the whole game to the Brewers, but the Cardinals couldn't get anything going offensively again. Hudson pitched a 2 1/3 again, pitched well. Colin Ray just navigates through traffic. He walked guys. He had guys on base. He left them on. Cardinals left 10 guys total on base in this one. Ray couldn't really get the strikeout pitch going. Only had 3 strikeouts in this one. Ended up missing some barrels, but didn't do a whole great job. He didn't pitch well, is my point. DL Hall didn't pitch great yesterday either. DL Hall's kind of a story right now. As I'm going to just go back to this quickly. He's got placed on the 15-day IL with some, I believe, with knee soreness or something. And that's going to give him some deserved rest here. Help sort what's going on with him, hopefully give him some focus or some clarity and so on. So when Brewers are going to need him to start games. This team's too thin. Otherwise they have to make a transaction, but they need him to start games. They need him to start quality games. And again, Wilson got the win on Saturday. We had DL Hall 3 2/3, 5 walks, only 3 strikeouts, 5 hits. Just not a great outing for Hall. He just couldn't find the zone. It was just he would get 0-2 and he would just lose them. And he talked about like the difference between pitching, rotation, bullpen. There's a difference, and he's just making some adjustment right now, I feel. So we see that. We see the sweep though. The Bluebirds on Sunday just coming out violently in St. Louis. It was a lot of booing after they lost that one. Looks like St. Louis can't find it. I mean, we talked about the offense is kind of the pieces Goldschmidt, Arenado, and Goldschmidt's not hitting well. Arenado's picked it up as of late, but this team has holes. Not to be a Cardinals hater, but many of this team to win the division. And then people had the Brewers at like the over-under for them again was 75.5. Like, what are we doing? I know they're 14-6, whatever long season. Yes, I get it. But this team was a lot better than 75 wins, even if you looked at it to start the year. Sure, I might say it was maybe the line should have been like 80.5. That's 5 wins, but 5 wins is a pretty big deal when it comes to those lines. I just think pretty brutal line for them. And so far they're as advertised 14-6. Or I should say better than advertised, but for me, they're as advertised 14-6. The player who leads the team in WAR, William Contreras, you bet, has played great. Bryce Terang has already a full WAR this year. Blake Perkins 0.7. I'm reading this right. Yes, that's how effective these guys have been. We're still trying to get Gary going. That's the thing. Gary had a bad week again. Had 2 hits yesterday. That was the best thing going for him. But man, we gotta try to get Gary going. He's gonna be a DFA candidate soon. No, they'll give him a shot. They're gonna give him till June, I would say. But he's got to get it going. Gary's been brutal up at the plate. But double player strikeout have been his two favorite things. He still has some value catching. He's still usable behind the plate, so it's not like he's just like out there. But him and Weimer, we got to get going. Owen Miller had the big hit today, so like I know Miller was having a rough stretch coming into the year, but look, get Miller going. 2 strikeouts, 2 at bats only coming in before this, but got him going today. Big game for him. So that's what we're looking at here moving forward. Frelick. So I want to talk about the strikeout issue, though. This team is having a strikeout issue, which if I told you that, sorry, you probably wouldn't be surprised. The Brewers historically have had teams, like they're good teams even, always have had strikeout problems. Or the not so great teams. Think about like 2016. Remember Chris Carter, who had like 40 plus home runs? It was like the least valuable 40 home run season ever. I bring that up because like strikeouts can be a negative part of someone's game, and we're seeing that right now. Contreras leads the team at 20, or Churio leads the team at 22 rather. Shouldn't surprise you. Churio has still been valuable, but 22 strikeouts so far in 75 plate appearances is too much. That's a lot. That's a high clip. I don't have the number up, but that's right over 30%. Then otherwise, it's the other guys. William Contreras, although he's been effective, strikeouts have still been a problem. Hoskins, Adames, Yelich has been hurt, so not really Yelich, but Yelich actually cut down his strikeouts a good bit. Those guys mainly. Frelick has 17 already. Dunn has 17. Bauer's at 14. So that's kind of what we're trying to correct moving forward for this team is put together more competitive at bats. We've actually seen what has surprised me has been like with Adames. Adames has 10 walks already. Not that he doesn't walk a lot, but I mean that 10 walks is pretty substantial for Adames here in April. Could lead to a pretty big year for him in walks. Otherwise, it's been the usual. Terang has 6 walks to 9 strikeouts only. That's been the huge one for me. Terang striking out a lot less. That was the problem last year. Lefty. And Pat Murphy has done a great job of like not having him be exploited in those lefty matchups. Like they're not afraid to bring someone in off the bench and so on. So that's been really good to see as well. That's kind of what we're seeing with this offense and strikeouts, but has been still the weak hole on this team. I just mentioned 2 starters at double digits against them this week alone. So that's pretty glaring. Freddie Peralta, great start again. Colin Ray is top 5 in the NL and ERA. You heard that right. Peralta is also in the top 5. Both those guys. We just need Miley to step it up. Had a bad start Tuesday. Hall to step it up. Had a bad start Saturday. And the bullpen's been good. Bullpen has been really good, actually. Brian Hudson's been the story. 27-year-old has been really stepping it up. He's 8 strikeouts in 9 innings so far. He has given up a home run, but that's really it. He's been very good otherwise. Trevor McGill coming back. He's a huge addition to have back. I'm glad he's feeling better. He's glad he's doing well. We do need Jacob Junis back. That's the guy who you hope to get like 4 or 5 innings out when he pitches. And they're kind of missing that inning eater. They're going to have someone do a spot start this week with those 7 games. And I'll get into those actually right now. For this week against the Pirates at the Pirates. Great time to play the Pirates. They've been struggling. They're back to 500 already. They were the team of the first 2 weeks and no more. 11-11 they go. But we run into a little problem on Tuesday's broadcast. I'll tell you why here. Monday, you play on Bally Sports at 5:40. Tuesday, they put you on Bally Sports Wisconsin Extra. In the past, they had a Fox Sports Wisconsin Plus thing. They would like have a channel for times like this. I don't know how this works. I'm just gonna watch on my phone on the Bally Sports app. Have watched both games because that's gonna be brutal to do both. I forgot the first round's actually televised, so you don't need NBA TV. So my apologies. They'll probably have the game on Bally on Tuesday as well. So keep that in mind. But that's Tuesday's scheduling. Wednesday, Bally Sports Wisconsin. Thursday, Bally Sports 5:40, 5:40, 5:40, Monday through Wednesday. 11:35 is Thursday's game. What are we doing with the weird times? I don't know. Then you got a 3-game series at home versus the Yankees. You get it's theme night, hockey night. Sal Frelick hockey jersey with a special ticket purchase. That game's at 7:10. The City Connect tumbler presented by Quick Trip is Saturday 6:10. I wanted to go to the game. I unfortunately will not be able to attend. 1:10 then is the Sunday game there versus the Yankees. So look at the schedule. The Brewers do get some tough guys. They do get Mitch Keller on Thursday. How's kind of what I'm dreading. Jared Jones they face tomorrow, the standout rookie, righty who gets a lot of strikeouts. A bad matchup for the Brewers, unfortunately. There's a chance they might allow another pitcher to get double-digit strikeouts. Friday through Sunday, we know Garrett Cole's on the IL right now, so they actually avoided some top guys. They do get Carlos Rodon, a guy who they struggled with when he was on the Giants, for example. So that's one to keep in mind. But other than that, that's kind of what the schedule looks this week. It should be smooth. That Pirates series, I'm hoping 3 out of 4. I could take a split, but they're running the Yankees at a bad time in terms of the offenses. Although had a bad weekend, overall the season has been very dominant so far. So that's what we're looking at here for the Brewers and the Bucks in this week in Wisconsin sports. Otherwise, that's all I have here. I hope you have a great week. I'll see you all Wednesday for Journey to a Million, the NFL draft preview. So that's going to wrap it up here for myself, Drew Skyberg, here on this Sunday night. Thank you all for listening to another episode of Drew Sports Crew, the perfect podcast for you.